Hello and welcome everybody to All the Rage Sports Podcast. Today we're down a man. Andy had some family stuff to go to, so I am here with Kevin and Jace as per usual.
Sorry,
We had a
folks.
little, and I also have pink eye, so I'm wearing my lovely glasses today. So it's super awesome. So I'm not excited for today's episode. Today we will talk about that Thursday night game and all the dumb shit that happened then. We're going to talk about Lamar Jackson, and me and Kevin are officially
Hop on the wagon, boys. Come along. Let's
going
go.
to
Uncle Bill, we apologize.
we're going to have some retribution today for you, Uncle Bill. We're going to talk a little bit about Kaepernick, obviously at his workout, and then what else? And then I want to talk about the Raiders' chance right now to take the division from Mr. Patrick Mahomes and his football Chiefs. So, as usual, we'll go through our picks. We'll hit on our power rankings. And we're actually going to do a little revert back to the beginning of the year when we made our bold predictions and see whose prediction is still in play. That'll coming next on All the Rage Sports.
Hey, Jace,
So-
quick question. Is it just me, or does Jesse's glasses look like it's just a filter on his phone?
Yeah, it does.
We're
They
just
look
float-
fake.
we're like
they look
floats out.
fake as fuck.
Throwing on his face.
My wife says I'm very sexy when I wear my glasses.
Well, that's because she is married to you, and she has to say those nice things.
That's probably true.
Lie to you is what I mean.
My wife's trying to kill me this week, so
Oh, okay. Well,
we
I mean,
had bacon wrapped pork loin for supper last night, and fried chicken wraps tonight.
she's just trying to get that cardiac arrest
Yeah,
done early.
yeah, I'm gonna, death is coming soon.
Yeah, what life insurance? Half a zero is zero, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's not even a means to an end. You must just be a
Well,
horrible
0 to
person
the
live with.
third power is. No, that's 0 too. Yeah,
She's
sorry, Kevin,
killing.
your shit I
She's
like.
killing me for my sick meme collection.
Well, looking at our picks from last week, we had an anomaly.
We were all good.
We all went 11-3, every single one of us, and I have no idea how.
Did we all pick?
No.
What games did we miss on, or like?
So, Jace, you missed the Jaguars and Colts, the Dolphins and Bills, and we all missed the Panthers and Packers. I missed the Steelers and Browns and the Texans and Ravens. Kevin missed the Steelers and Browns and the Dolphins and Bills. Andy missed the Steelers and the Colts and Jaguars. Everything else we got right.
Oh.
So, just the quick recap: Steelers lost to the Browns. The Ravens shellacked the Texans.
Wait, will you say that first one over one more time, just for my ears, please? Just hold on, I'll do this one. The Browns played whack-a-mole with the Steelers and beat them 21-7.
We'll get to that. The Falcons winning 2 in a row against the Panthers. Cowboys ended up beating the Lions.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, right. Colts winning over the Jags on a Foles team. Bills beat the Dolphins pretty handily. This was the highest scoring game they've had all year. Broncos lost to the Vikings. Vikings had a 20-point comeback. Saints over the Bucks. Jets over the Skins. Niners over the Cards. Raiders beat the woeful Bengals, going for the record to match the Lions at 0-16. Patriots went 1 over the Eagles, not to Tom Brady's help. And Rams over the Bears, Chiefs over the Chargers. So, first off, I want to take a look. God, I don't want to talk about this. We have to look at this Thursday night game. So, I'm going to get a lot of angry messages from Mr. Lonnie White. Uncle Lonnie.
I don't give a shit.
Before we get into it, can I bring up one thing? Did anybody actually watch it live? Because
Yes.
I know I went to bed. Jesse,
You mean the fight?
Oh yeah, I thought you were getting into that already. You were talking about.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the entire game, then go right into the fight because I did not watch it live because after that last interception by Mason, I shut off the TV, grabbed my wife, we went to bed, and I sat and stared at my pillow for about an hour.
I was laying in bed. I shut it off after that pick.
Because that was game.
Yeah,
I watched it live. Did you have a question?
I think you're the only person on earth.
You may be the only person, besides like 4 really drunk guys in downtown Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, Steelers went in. Offense didn't look good. Browns took out 2 of our receivers, one of which was bleeding out of the ear from a helmet-to-helmet hit that also got Randall ejected. Juju was one of them. Deontay Johnson was one of them. Washington was our only receiver left besides a bunch of Oil City JV team players that they called up that day. One of which they called up like a day or so prior. So Mason had no one to throw to. Mason had a horrible game, threw 4 picks.
No, he had plenty of people to throw to. They were just all wearing the wrong fucking jersey.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were all just wearing brown helmets, not black ones.
So, all right, I'm going to lay it out as I've seen it after watching the video dozens and dozens of times. In this hand, Myles Garrett's fault. In this hand, Mason Rudolph's fault. So Mason, Garrett. Start of that play, Mason gets rid of the ball. Garrett bear hugs him and drags him to the ground. Garrett's fault. Mason kicks Garrett in the nuts as he's on the ground because it's close to a late hit. Mason's fault. Mason then grabs Garrett's helmet because Garrett is not getting up off top of him. Garrett not getting up, Mason grabbing helmet. After that, Garrett gets up, drags Mason by the face mask, and rips his helmet off. Garrett's fault. Mason then decides, I want a piece of
justice.
Yes, this is. Mason decides, you know what? I want a piece of Myles Garrett because I got DeCastro between me and him. Mason's fault. Garrett goes, well, time to play some whack-a-mole. Smacks the fuck out of Mason's head. Garrett's fault. Then Pouncey immediately tackles him and kicks him in the head. Pouncey's fault.
Garrett's fault.
Garrett's fault.
Yeah. You hit a fucking quarterback with a helmet. You're getting your.
You're going to get the offensive line after you. And I heard. Now, I listen to NFL Sirius XM pretty regularly. It's pretty much the only thing that's ever on my radio, unless my wife's in the car. They had a Steeler fan call in and get just enraged, saying that Mason should have been suspended. Mason fucking started it. Mason did this, and Mason not having any problem, like he didn't get suspended, he didn't get in trouble, is absurd. I don't disagree with that. Mason was, like I said, at fault. Not at fault, at fault. Not at fault, at fault. The whole time. I don't disagree that Mason should have been suspended at least a game. I don't think he should have been suspended as long as Pouncey with 3, because Pouncey just kind of went a little gangster on him and like curb stomped his helmet and fucking started swinging, and it was pretty bad. But I do agree Mason should have got something. He then went on to say something about he has no fault in Pouncey because if you've ever played in that game when somebody messes with a quarterback, that doesn't fly. You take him down. He referred back to the Super Bowl when the Seahawks beat the Patriots, and Richard Sherman went up to Tom Brady, yelling shit in Tom Brady's face. No offensive lineman came in Tom Brady's aid. Tom Brady just kind of walked away from it. Now, I don't particularly remember that, but the announcers remembered that. And the one I remember is when they lost and Richard Sherman came over to shake his hand. That's what I remember. But I don't remember him doing that. So then he went on to say, like, the league's changed. People are pussies. Marquise Pouncey is, a real player because he defended. Kind of besides the point. But what are your guys' take on this whole thing? Because I think the punishments were laid out properly. I do feel like Mason should have got a suspension of some sorts, at least for the nut kick, the dick kick. But what do you think?
Speaking of dicks, Jace, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which one of you guys wants to go first? Because the other one's going to completely disagree with everything you say.
I actually wanted Kevin to go first on this one, but now you can't. As soon as a helmet comes off, and I'll reference. You guys remember Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree going at it when he was a Raider a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And I remember Crabtree getting his helmet pulled off and going after Talib, and he was still throwing punches while Talib had his helmet on. And I remember just being like, one guy's, I always thought, like in hockey fights, one guy, just be honorable. Throw your helmet off, be a man about it.
And go at each other.
If Myles Garrett walks up to Mason, if Myles Garrett pulls his own helmet off after pulling Mason Rudolph's helmet off and beats the shit out of him in the middle of that field, because Mason Rudolph honestly was being a punk bitch. He threw 4 picks. He was mad. I don't think it was.
And he admitted that yesterday. Now,
Yeah.
I think it took too long for him to admit that, but he did admit, I ran about that whole entire thing wrong. I was frustrated, blah, blah, blah. He admitted that.
Yeah. But he basically, he was pissy because he was playing a bad game. Like I said, me and you had already turned the game off. It was decided by this point.
Yeah.
I don't think Garrett should have hit him like he did, but I don't think he necessarily knew the ball was gone. And I think by that point, you get into scrapping and fighting and, the nut kick. And I think Garrett kind of was taken aback a little bit. And, he put him in his place. He kind of drug him around, Flintstone styled him a little bit, dragging him around like his wife or something. But
it was bad.
Just pulled him up, but as soon as you start swinging the
Ray riced him.
Absolutely unacceptable. I was going to say that, but I was going to wait for you to go there because you're the controversial one in this podcast. So.
You're the asshole.
You pretty much said that. You said drug him around like his wife.
Well, no, I'm thinking like the old cartoons. Remember,
like caveman style.
Yeah, the caveman.
Knock the lady out and drag her back to your cave.
Yeah, Ray Rice.
Mason Rudolph, he shouldn't have hit him. He shouldn't have hit him. But you ain't at Oklahoma State anymore. This ain't a frat party where you're gonna run up and you and Brad are gonna yell at each other and go, "What's up? What's up? What's up?" until somebody breaks it up. Myles Garrett is about that fucking life. If you want to go. It doesn't matter what he's got in his hand. It's like, if you want to fucking fight, he's going to give it to you. And my biggest problem with the whole thing is Mason wanted to fight so bad with the Castro. As soon as that helmet got swung, he turned to the refs
and went,
flailed his arms, and LeBron the piss out of it. Like, he wasn't after the fight. He was just trying to get a call in a game that was already decided and didn't matter. So it was pointless. It's really, really sad for the game. It shouldn't have happened. But Myles Garrett, Jesse, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think they both were at points at fault, but what Myles Garrett did was unacceptable.
Yes.
File assault charges.
Okay, so now from what I've been hearing, because I listen to sports radio every day of the week, all week. Everybody that I've listened to, whether they agree or disagree about Mason Rudolph and his involvement in it, every one of them says Myles Garrett doesn't belong in the fucking game. He deserves to be allowed out for at least the rest of this year, if not them going ahead and adding 10 games onto it for next year and making it a full season out of the league. Because had he swung the helmet with the crown of the helmet, then we're talking about this could have been a serious injury to Mason Rudolph.
To a player
Now-
who suffered one of the most horrific concussions
Yeah.
in memory, 2-3 weeks ago?
What
Jesus.
What a lot of people are talking about is how this game showed in a complete and total lack of discipline by the entire Browns team. I haven't heard of anything happening to Marius Randall yet, but that should have been
Right.
a suspension right off the fucking get-go there.
That
was a Vontez Burfict fucking hit. That was a bullshit play, and he needs to be sitting too because he targeted the fucking head. That
Dude
was a
was
targeting hit.
bleeding out of his ears.
Yeah,
Terrible.
this is-
I mean, had
this
that
is a-
fight not happened at the end of the game, they'd still have been spending the rest of the week talking about the terrible optics of a player bleeding from the fucking ear on national television.
Yes.
It's just sad because it's an in-division game at the end of the year. Two teams that really aren't going to make the playoffs. And like you said, Randall basically just took a fucking cheap shot because, it don't matter at this point. You hate the other team because you play them twice a year.
I
As
seriously
far-
was
and then
sitting
as
there
far
and
as
going, is this a Bengals game? Because this looks like
That's what it felt like.
every
The
fucking
Juju hit-
Bengals game.
He had two people hit him in the fucking head.
It was 3 people all like, boom. He got hit on both sides of the helmet.
Yeah.
They-
That one
they
was
were
more
playing like-
coincidental than anything. I don't think that
Right.
was dirty.
I agree with you on that. I definitely
They were
agree
playing
with you.
like this was still a Greg Williams defense team, but a Greg Williams from the Saints defense team. Affect the
Bounty
head.
Gate.
Affect the head.
Somebody just got
But-
paid for. Well, Demarius Randall is fine getting paid for that hit.
Back to the criminal act that was at the end of the game. My opinion on this, and a lot of people's opinion on it that I've heard of, has been kind of the same. There's 8 seconds left in the game.
Who the fuck?
Pretty standard operating procedure in the NFL. With 8 seconds left to go in the game, the offense, if they choose to snap the ball, they either run a draw play or throw a little fucking screen pass. The running back will run to the line, or the guy who catches the screen pass will run 10 to 15 yards and then lay down on the fucking field in front of defenders. When that happens and they snap the ball, the offensive line and the defensive line all stand up and play patty cake until the play is over. Myles Garrett, for no reason whatsoever, should have even been near Mason Rudolph in that fucking play. It's common courtesy in the NFL. You don't do that. You're up 14 fucking points. There's 8 seconds left. The play is insignificant to the game. So not only should he have not been that close to Mason Rudolph to begin with, the hit, whether he knew he had the ball or not, it is because of the new rules in this NFL, this league's policies regarding protecting the quarterback, it is your responsibility to not make that hit. Whether you know that he has the ball or not, if you know it's close, they are teaching you that you don't fucking do it. You then also don't drive him to the fucking ground after you've made contact.
And I've heard
So
somebody
I
say,
can see
"Oh,
Mason."
he put his hand down to brace it." I'm sorry. When you look at that play, Bear hugged him, spun him around. That's exactly what happened.
So I can understand why Mason was pissed off. Does that mean that Mason was in the right for doing what he did? No. He shouldn't have kicked him in the
Mason
nuts,
fault?
shouldn't have grabbed his helmet.
Miles' fault. Mason fault?
But
Miles' fault.
at that point there, I'm gonna absolve Mason any of the rest of it then, because after the point where Mason tried to kick him in the nuts, then Myles Garrett, when he grabs him and pulls him up off the ground, then throws him back down on the ground, and then rips his fucking helmet off while pulling him off the ground again, that's at the point where it's beyond okay, you need to not react, because that's right there. That optic right there was damn near as close as getting hit by a fucking helmet. Grabbing somebody and ripping them around like a fucking rag doll with
the
by
other
their helmet
thing
is
that
just as bad
I
as hitting them.
found like disrespectful and just a kind of microcosm of how that culture is on the team. And I know I'm gonna get flashback for this, but the fact that Jarvis Landry does a in-game press conference, and when he's talking about it, he's sitting there laughing about it. There were several players that when they've talked about it, visibly going like, That tells me there's not a good culture there. You don't see that
Yeah.
from a team that is. If the Patriots had a bet, Rodney Harrison loved to take fucking people out in the secondary. He was a little bit dirty. When he had hits like that, nobody sat there and said, that was hilarious on the Patriots team.
Well, and they questioned Bill Belichick about this kind of an incident. He said, why do you guys have discussions about that? He says, no, we don't have to. It's not allowed.
No, exactly. That just goes to coaching integrity. And a lot of people were saying, hey, you can blame the head coach. And NFL on Sirius now plays like Dog Pound Radio, the Browns. Even the Browns were like, or the Browns were saying, talk show hosts were saying, oh, blaming the coach is a scapegoat. I'm sorry.
One person I will give a lot of credit to, as far as people in that organization, blah, 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 would be Baker Mayfield. The guy who's talked the most fucking shit all year was the first guy to say, that was fucking bullshit. We don't need that in our game. All you did was hurt the team.
Yeah.
And that's the history of this organization, is doing stupid shit that hurts our team.
Yep.
All this, we've spent too much time on this, but the one thing I will say is all this tells me is we're back to the good old days of AFC North football. Hushmanzada stepping on the terrible towel in the
Hines Ward breaking Keith Rivers' jaw.
You got rid of Vontaze Burfict. He's now an Oakland Raider, maybe, or who knows, next year.
No, he's now a free agent, I'm pretty sure.
Well, 1-year deal, but whether we bring him back or not, I'm sure we're probably going to draft. But regardless, Myles Garrett's new Vontaze Burfict. You guys have your new Bengals. And maybe the Browns will actually, they have a better chance of being competitive than the Bengals the next few years. So,
Depends on where Joe Burrows goes.
Yeah.
He
ain't gonna be Tua now.
He ain't gonna save nothing in Cincinnati.
No, what somebody said today that really pissed me off is, who's gonna pick him because he won't go at the beginning of the first round. Now he'll probably fall. Somebody said the Patriots will pick him up at the end of the fucking first.
Somebody will take him out of spite.
Don't you fucking say it.
All right, well let's move on. Let's just bring it down to Thursday night game. Steelers sucked real bad. Browns got a good win.
Steelers defense played outstanding as usual. Steelers offense was non-existent.
The only thing that the Steelers defense didn't do that they've done in the past 6-7 weeks, there was no turnovers.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the difference in the game, because that's what the Steelers defense was doing every week, getting 2 to 4 turnovers and scoring points off of those turnovers. And that didn't happen. Miko was kind of non-existent. Minka was non-existent that game. Anyway, moving on.
Your defensive player of the year, you can't even say his fucking name.
I know, right? So, the next topic I fucking hate to talk about. Another AFC North team. The Baltimore Ravens slobber knocked. Second straight week scoring over 40 points. Lamar Jackson looked like the MVP.
I have an idea. Instead of going into all this, can we just say Lamar Jackson's good and move on?
Can I take the reins for this one?
Yeah, go ahead,
yes,
Jason.
Please.
We don't want to say it.
I just said Lamar Jackson's good. To say it.
Well, essentially, both you shut the hell up now. Essentially, what happened last week was, and I was excited about this game because I was watching all week on Twitter. They were sharing a game in 2016 between Clemson and Louisville between Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson.
And Watson clobbered him.
It was a real defensive struggle, I'll tell you that. But, to put this in perspective, Jackson was 17 for 24 with 222 yards, 4 touchdowns. Deadly accurate. They slapped the shit out of the Texans 41-7. They firmly put a I think, a firm grasp on the number 2 seed. Possibly, since they beat the Patriots at number 1, if the Patriots, slide or drop 1 or 2 at some point late in the year. I don't know if that'll happen. I'll look up the remaining schedule and we'll get to that at some point. But yes, and the reason I wanted to take over on this one is because through all my misfortunes, through my years of Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes, and what you guys have dealt with Derek Anderson and Andy Dalton and Joe Flacco, all these fucking losers you guys get 2 cupcake games a year on. Now you're gonna have to A, deal with probably Joe Burrow, and B, Lamar Jackson twice a year, who's going to be an absolute threat.
Time out.
What?
Aside from the only 2 years that you had to deal with Peyton Manning, the only Super Bowl winning quarterback that was in any of those fucking teams that you've mentioned, we had to deal with Joe Flacco, who actually did go win a Super Bowl and had a really good team.
Won him a fucking Super Bowl, for fuck's sake. He was Trent Dilfer 2.0. Don't try to defend Joe Flacco.
I can't say that because Joe Flacco had one of the most crazy playoff quarterback performances.
Yeah. Joe Flacco won that Super Bowl.
He did not win that Super Bowl. He had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed carried him half the way there. He did. Yes. I will admit he did play well in the playoffs, but
he went nuts in the playoffs.
They wouldn't have got the Super Bowl for Joe Flacco. So, still okay.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
They didn't have to play you in the fucking playoffs, so it's irrelevant to my point. Shut up.
I know. I think they beat us in the playoffs that year.
Shut up. This is my segment. I'm a fucking kill you,
Woebegone Raiders fan here needs some run here. Let him go.
Currently 19th in the league in passing yards right now, which is pretty mediocre. But then you look at passing touchdowns, he's 7th right now with 19. And then it's really, really funny when you get into the stats such as my favorite one. Where is it here? Let me find it. It's yards per rushing attempt. He's leading the league with over 7 yards every time he takes off with the ball. And he's in the top 10 in the league in rushing. This guy's going to get
Who is he ahead of, Jace?
Get a full off-season under his belt. He's going to develop as a pocket passer. Punch your phone all you want. You can be.
I accidentally hit my cord.
I don't care. You can take it out on whatever you want. This guy's here to stay. What are your thoughts on it?
I have a quick idea. Hold on. I have a quick idea.
This is no event session. This is a safe space for you guys.
Can we just dub over this entire segment the "Here We Go" Steelers song?
If that happens, I'll never do this podcast.
Okay, I don't have the video editing software. I do have the audio editing.
I play Patrick Mahomes twice a year now. I'm with you guys. Talk to me. How are you feeling right now, Jesse? What are your thoughts? Are you seeing him in your nightmares yet? Things like that, or?
I want to go into a time machine and bring back 27-year-old Ben. 25-year-old Ben. And have Ben for another 20 years. And then maybe we'll win 2 or 3 more Super Bowls. Because right now, with this defense the way it is, and if we had Ben in there, I think this would be a different team. Now, as for Lamar Jackson, I'm hoping that my early predictions of, he's a great highlight reel. Yeah, he's still not a great passer.
I'm going to keep this going.
I really hope that I'm right. And in 2 years, we're talking about what happened to Lamar Jackson. But right now, I'll admit, Lamar Jackson's playing at MVP form. Who are the people that he has more rushing yards than, Jace?
Everybody but 10 people. He's 10th.
Well, there's some notable names in there that you wouldn't even think that are the case.
Yeah, go ahead.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
No, he's just behind Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry right now. Let me go to yards. I gotta switch it here. Yeah, Derrick Henry is 9th with 832 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson is 10th with 788.
I think the stat I heard, he's like 200 yards ahead of the next highest quarterback.
Yeah, well, he's ahead. Here's just a couple
is
of the
probably
running backs
Josh
he's ahead of. I'll just go through a quick list. He's ahead of Carlos Hyde, Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay, Aaron Jones, Matt Breida, Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard, Joe Mixon, Adrian Peterson, and Sony Michel.
He's ahead of his own running back.
Yes,
he is. And I will say that's the one thing that has amazed me is Mark Ingram played at Alabama. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Every time you see a post-game interview with Mark Ingram, he's blown away by how well Lamar Jackson is playing. He's like a fucking superhero right now. It's unreal. And I love Jesse, the look on your face. I wish I could bottle it and drink it every day.
Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I'm comparing this right now to Cam Newton early in his career.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
That's
Cam Newton's not even close.
Cam Newton was when his first few years. It was rushing like crazy.
First off, Lamar Jackson
scoring
is
touchdowns.
Twice as fast as Cam Newton is.
Yes, I know.
But Cam Newton Cam Newton was a little bit better throwing the football.
If the receivers were 7'10", yeah.
Until last week. And then Lamar Jackson became better than Cam Newton.
Yeah, I can't even lie.
All right, so all those fuckers out there that say, Jesse, you don't know. You keep saying Lamar Jackson. Fine, I admit it. Lamar Jackson's good. He's probably going to win MVP if Russell Wilson doesn't. I get it. Fuck off.
There were a couple of throws. I'm not going to lament on it. I am a little bit just to see you guys be in misery. But I did watch all that game last week, and there were a couple of throws where he still sometimes, up until this game, he threw the ball. Sometimes you're like, you're worried about him trying to fit some of those gaps. There were a couple of throws. Those tight ends they have. Andrews, Hurst.
Andrews is stupid
who's
good.
the other one? There's 3 of them.
They used to have Max Williams, but I think they got rid of him, and then they got, I don't know, another one. They've drafted like a tight end.
Fun fact.
Top 3 rounds.
Hurst was a draft pick by the Pittsburgh Pirates to play baseball. But yeah, Lamar Jackson zipped a couple of balls in there that you wouldn't think he would be able to do. What was this? He had like a 90% completion percentage. What his completion percentage is on the year. But he's throwing the ball better than everybody expected because he's a wide receiver and blah, 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 blah. And guess what? Fuck you guys. You got to play him twice a year.
All right.
Yep.
Now I'll go. To quote Mike Golick, when Lamar Jackson's running the football all over the field on you, and you can't stop him, and then he drops back and threads the needle with a pass better than anybody in the league's doing it. What do you do? What can you do? You can't do anything. Right now, Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level. Every time one of these guys comes out, everybody talks about this could change the game. This could change the game. Do I think this is going to change the game? No. I don't think it's going to change the game. I don't think this is going to be something that you're going to see. Everybody's going to draft the next Lamar Jackson because I don't think you're going to find another one. Lamar Jackson is just as accurate as Cam was when he came out now on these passes. He's looking amazing, and he is twice the runner that Cam Newton was. He's a better Michael Vick. And
it was if Michael Vick was a right-hand thrower.
And this offense is all working in concert. The defense has come along from where they were at the beginning of the year. They were terrible.
Yes.
They are now starting to fit together better as a defense. The biggest takeaway I have from this is that the Harbaugh brothers are geniuses. We saw Jim do the same thing with Colin Kaepernick, with Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator. John Harbaugh is now doing what he's doing with Lamar Jackson, completely revitalizing a team that looked like they were trending to the fucking basement of the AFC North, with Greg Roman as his offensive coordinator. Now,
so is it a Harbaugh thing or a Roman thing, then?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's the Harbaughs know what they need to do, and evidently what they needed to do was hire Greg Roman.
Gobble on Greg Roman's dick.
And that's why I'm really excited, because I'm pretty sure that Michigan's going to lose to Ohio State this year. That's going to be the death knell for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, and hopefully he'll come back to the NFL where he belongs. And a team like maybe the Chicago Bears, who are one of the teams that everybody thinks Cam Newton might end up at, will get a Jim Harbaugh who knows what to do with a Cam Newton. And the Bears would be good. But
that'd be interesting.
While I say it's a little bit disheartening, at the same time, I actually feel as though, the Steelers, while they're still a 500 fucking team.
Kevin 500 team.
They're missing 3/4 of their wide receiver room right now to injury. Their running back isn't healthy right now. But you roll this ahead to next year. Give some of these younger receivers maybe a little bit more time to get a little bit better. You get Ben back. If Connor can stay healthy, this is going to be a pretty good show between these two teams.
I think there needs to be a free agent acquisition on wide receiver, and I think there needs to be a running back drafted in their first pick, which I believe is like late second round.
I'd rather see a wide receiver picked with their first pick.
I can see that too. Because there's probably more talent in running back in the free agency that they can go
there will
after.
be more free agent talent at running back. There's going to be some stud wide receivers coming out of Alabama. I'd love to see one of those on the Steelers roster.
Okay,
but I think after this topic, I think we should probably push Colin back one more and go into the AFC West, because I got to tie in kind of the both of those right here, and it's that I think we between the three of us, we're all going to be very happy with our next few years, because I think our team looks really good still. I think the Raiders looks really good still, and with having Mahomes and Jackson in each of our respective divisions, it's going to be a really good AFC North, AFC West football that our teams are all going to be involved in.
Yeah,
I agree. But real quick, I did, just for funsies, I went back and looked up Cam Newton's career passing and rushing stats. But right now, Lamar Jackson is on pace to – he's currently beating Cam Newton's best season he ever had as far as completion percentage. Cam Newton's best he ever was 67%. Lamar Jackson right now, let me look, is currently at – he's at 66.3. So he's just a little bit behind it. But he's already got more yards through 12 – rushing yards through 12 games than Cam Newton ever had in a season. So to Kevin's point, he's better with his legs than he is his feet than Cam Newton was. But he is a much better Cam Newton, and he is going to, like Kevin said, with Golick and all those guys, if he's back and he's threading the ball and he can also take off, he's a G code. You can't do anything.
It's going to be like that.
Basically, the best breakdown that anybody had is when you have a running back who's not mobile, that gives you an extra defender, basically, because you never have to worry about the quarterback running. When he runs as well as he does, you have to have 8 in the box every fucking play. So it puts you at a disadvantage.
Unless you can man up on those tight ends, which I don't think there's a team in the NFL that can. You're not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, he's rushing for 7 yards a carry, and he's also, every average throw, he's averaging 8.1 yards per attempt. So
He's nearly getting a first down and every time he touches the
Well,
ball.
that's just per attempt, so that's not necessarily completions. But
Well, no, every once in a while they
that
do
is a-
give Mark Ingram the football. So
that is a defense that is just, or sorry, an offense that's just making up yardage in big chunks. Like they're going to be deadly, and I can't wait to watch them torture the shit out of you guys for the next umpteen years, hopefully, until I'm dead.
All right, moving on. We mentioned Cap. Cap had his workout. Nobody called. Did we expect anything else?
No, and I don't want to talk about it too much because I
Me
feel
either.
like you feel like you've been wrong this entire thing. I feel pretty wrong about this one because
I know. I still agree with you. He defended him. He deserved a chance, but the way he talked in his interviews. Everybody's just too afraid to even attempt it at this point.
well,
Well-
nobody's even like Stephen A. Smith. He said it the
Mhm.
best. He just wanted to be a martyr. They had everything set up at the Atlanta Falcons practice facility. They were going to film it like a professional film team. They were going to send it to all 32 teams, and he balked at the last second because of a liability waiver or something. And then went and had his own crew film it at a high school field, and then he did that thing afterwards. And he knows he's going to be a backup. He doesn't want to play as a backup anywhere, is what it is. He's not starter caliber anymore, I don't think. And he knows that. So now it's just about being a martyr and saying, oh, they don't want me and this and that. And that's what he's going to die on. That's the hill he's going to die on, essentially.
yeah, Cap doesn't want to play football, and as Jay said, Stephen A. Smith was saying that he just wants to be a martyr. Stephen A. Smith is one of the biggest offenders of Colin Kaepernick from the beginning of all this. And completely agreed with his stance and would shoot anybody down who went up against him on the on kneeling for the national anthem and what he was doing, and then defended him up to that weekend of the fucking workout. And that's what he said. He said you had the opportunity to work out for 25 teams. You don't think they're going to show your best in that video package? That they're just going to try to use that to edit it out and make it look bad and make you look bad and try to say, oh, you weren't good enough and that's why nobody wants to hire you. Fine. Go do your workout after that workout. You did it an hour away from where the stadium was. They gave you a platform to be able to come in and get a job if you wanted a job. You turned it down to go make a media spectacle out of your fucking self. You don't want to play football. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. And I don't really know if there's anything else to say on that one. That's pretty much the gist of it. I hope this thing's dead and we never have to hear about it again.
Oh, it won't be because he's now it's going to be because some team will sign some scrub from somewhere. And it's going to be the endless argument till the end of time. Oh, they should just sign Kaepernick instead. And I read the scouting reports. I watched a little bit of the film. It's the same song and dance. He's in good shape. He's got a great arm. He has no fucking accuracy. And in today's NFL, if you're not accurate, see Mitch Trubisky, Jameis Winston. It's not going to work. You have to be able to put the ball in tight windows. And he can throw the ball 110 miles an hour, but he throws it 110 miles an hour into triple coverage. So he's done.
Yep. I concur. All right, let's move on to the Raiders here. The Raiders were not a team that anybody, Kevin aside, even you, Jace, didn't really believe that they were going to have a chance to win the division, thought it was going to be a wild card team. Right now, this Raiders team is 6-4?
Let me look.
6-4.
6-4.
And the Chiefs are on their bye this week. If the Raiders win this, they will be tied with the Chiefs. Now, I don't know what the tiebreaker is right now. Did they play each other yet?
Yeah, the Raiders lost the first game
Okay.
badly.
So the Chiefs have the tiebreaker.
Yep.
On head-to-head.
Yes.
But they play each other
They
week
play
17?
again on week 17.
No, it's not week 17. Or is it? It might be.
I think the Chiefs and Raiders is, but I'm not 100% on that.
Let me go look.
You had both their schedules up. We already talked about how the Raiders.
Fuck you,
week
Jesse.
13.
Stop yawning.
It's week 13 because it's after this Jets game.
Okay. So
Oh,
we
okay.
already.
So you both have a bye going into your game.
Or essentially, everybody's saying though I am kind of believing it. This is a little bit of a trap game for the Raiders.
I can see it.
Hopefully, I'm not right because that would
As in they're going to pick up some trap hose after the game?
I hope so. But if we go in and I'm riding high and I'm like already looking forward to that game at Arrowhead and they fall flat on their fucking face against the Jets, I will not be on this podcast next week because I will be deceased. I will be. I don't know where I'll be. But
I came on this podcast after losing to the Browns. So don't even start with me.
Good point.
All right. So what are they looking? They have Jets, Chiefs. What's the rest of their schedule from there for the Raiders?
Goes Jets, then the Chiefs, and then after that Titans at home, I believe. I'm not sure. And then the Jags. I think we only have 2 more away games. Yeah, we play the Chargers in LA, which is a home game. And then the Broncos at Mile High, I think.
So right now I see you guys going 11-5, 12-4. Chiefs schedule.
Chiefs schedule. Well, let's see what
bye week this week.
Yeah,
Raiders
bye week this week. Us next week, and then they have. Let's see here. Patriots. Broncos. What do we have here? Bears. Chargers. In Arrowhead.
Both teams are making the playoffs. Raiders win this division 12-4. Chiefs go 11-5.
Are you
or 10-6? Sorry.
Did you just say the Raiders are going to go 12-4 and win the division? I'm so absolutely stunned by what I'm hearing come out of your mouth. I don't. Is this real life?
I don't think they're going to lose another game.
The
Chiefs are going to lose against the Patriots, and I think the Chiefs will lose against the Raiders.
You think we're going to rattle off? You're saying we're not going to lose until literally the rest of the regular season. All right. I just wanted that.
Well, if Jesse is correct, this will make my preseason prediction on what would be the biggest, bold prediction to come true out of our preseason predictions come true.
True. So,
because I predicted a 12-4 division champion Raider.
So, before we go on, what are you thinking about the Raiders right now? Are you seeing this as a division-winning team? Here's why I say this. And there's only one reason I say this. Madden curse.
I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, I think Mahomes. I think he doesn't get hurt. I think he stays healthy. It's a different story.
Yes, I think he stays healthy, but that team is also garbage on the back end on defense.
Well, that defense is abhorrent, and obviously, I touched on this a little bit when we were talking beforehand. The Chargers absolutely gouged them up on the ground in the running game. And what do you think? I mean, John Gruden is sitting there licking his chops just thinking about that game already. It's going to be Alec Ingold, Josh Jacobs, fullback, running back, 2 tight ends set, and just fucking run it down their throats for 4 quarters. Carr might throw the ball like 20 times in that game.
I think at the end of this season,
Darren Waller for big gains.
I think at the end of this season, we are going to be talking about the Raiders having a legitimate chance at taking the AFC. I hate this. Listen. I've been wrong all year, and I've been saying they sucked. So guess what? I'm flipping the script. I'm pulling a George Costanza and saying everything opposite of what I would normally say. Raiders are going to win the division. They're going to have the 3 seed because it's going to go Ravens,
What's happening?
Patriots.
Worlds are colliding.
Yeah, that is happening. I'm doing a full 360, Jerry. That's a 180, George. But I think it's essentially. I didn't think we'd have a pass rush, but holy fuck, Max Crosby had
Max
4
Crosby.
sacks last game, and oh my god.
So
And it's beautiful because he's not a guy you watch him. He's not somebody who has a lot of technique. He just wants it.
High motor.
Yeah, just bullying the guys back and forth. And Cleveland Farrell's coming together. We have a lot of pieces to rotate on the inside. Actually, a lot of pieces that are playing together in the back end, even though we got rid of Conley and we lost Carl Joseph. The secondary's playing well. The defense holds up, and the linebackers worry me a little bit, but control the ball, run it for 4 quarters, and play a flawless game and don't get a bunch of
Josh
penalties.
Jacobs should be your team MVP, also as the offensive rookie of the year.
well, the one show that I listen a lot to that I really like is the DA show on CBS Sports Radio, and he was talking today about how he's been getting a ton of hate from Raiders fans for tweets that he put out from March through a couple months ago. And one of his tweets was, he started out with, John Gruden, Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict. What could go wrong? Aside, 2 out of 3 of those, he was correct on. But another one he said was, I can't believe the Raiders got rid of Khalil Mack. They'll spend the rest of their time trying to find a player half as good as Khalil Mack rushing the quarterback. Max Crosby is already half as good as Khalil Mack. His actual rushing stats against the quarterback are better than Khalil Mack. Through this last week, Khalil Mack had he put up, as they called it, the golden sombrero. 0 quarterback hits, 0 quarterback pressures, no sacks. He had 0 stats for the game. Yet he is like he didn't even play the game. And Max Crosby went out there and fucking lit it up. So he was wrong on that one. They already found one who's actually doing better than Khalil Mack this year, and he was a 3rd-round pick. But this Oakland Raiders team, they have by far the best draft class out of any team this year. The guys they picked up throughout the draft are making a bigger impact than any rookies that you're seeing on any teams as a collective group. Their biggest thing they're going to have, and why I think they win this division, is one, the running game, and 2, the fact that the Chiefs, while they won against the Chargers, if Phillip Rivers wasn't doing his best Jameis Winston impression over these last 2 weeks, they would have lost that fucking game, because the Chargers, even at the end of the game, were driving the ball right down the fucking field, and Rivers gave him the ball. Which it was a terrible play, because he didn't he even admitted in the post-game press conference, he read man coverage, not zone coverage, and thought Sorensen wasn't going to be there. So he just threw the ball up.
Max Crosby has 1 more sack on the year than Khalil Mack does.
Yeah. He is statistically better than Khalil Mack this year.
I saw somebody, because everybody was making the classic picture of, the Wolverine meme where he's laying in bed and he's like stroking the picture, and somebody photoshopped Carr's face on it, and it was a picture of Khalil Mack, and somebody was like 2018 versus 2019, and then it was Khalil Mack holding a picture of Derek Carr being like, I miss you, come back. It was so funny. Like, things have completely swapped now, and I was sitting there, and it does make me really, really think how fucking scary this team would be if we still had Khalil Mack.
Right.
Oh my God.
If you had Khalil Mack on one side and Crosby on the other,
that'd be dumb. That'd be real dumb.
Real stupid. But yeah, like Kevin said, defense holds up. We got a real chance. I have, since the first time since 2016 as a Raider fan, I have real and genuine faith.
Yep. All right.
Time to go break your back, Derek Carr.
Real quick, we'll touch on our preseason bold predictions. We're going to try to speed this up a little bit. Preseason bold predictions. I had a star player gets injured early in the season, ruining Super Bowl hopes. I mentioned the Steelers and I mentioned the Saints. And Steelers happened, Saints happened, but the Saints didn't really.
It didn't ruin their year.
Didn't ruin their year because Teddy Bridgewater was
They
amazing.
went undefeated
during that
Thus,
stretch.
Proving that backups matter yet again.
Yes.
Proving that even when he's right, Jesse can still be wrong.
Right. I'm going to say that I'm correct on that with Big Ben.
You got a half point.
Yeah, I get a half point on that. I said the Dolphins will be picking 10 or later. Right now, they are on the standings at 4th. But here's the thing: they're 2-8. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There is no hope.
6 teams that only have 3 wins.
Just stop. Just stop.
There is a chance that's
there's
still
not
correct.
A chance.
Yes, there is.
This is okay, Jim Carrey. So you're saying there's a chance?
They're saying there's a chance.
Quit it.
And then the worst one.
More like 1 in a million.
The worst one I have right now is I said the Titans won the first pick, and they're at 500 right now. So that's not going to happen. Jace said Lamar Jackson will lead the league in rushing. And here's the funny thing. He's going to break 1,000 yards rushing. Easy. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's probably going to own that. I would probably give Jace a half point if Lamar Jackson rushed for over 1,000 yards.
If he's in the top 10 and he's over 1,000 yards, I think I get a half point.
I think so too.
He's probably going to end the year with 500 more rushing yards than any other quarterback, and I think that alone should get Jace half a point.
Yes,
sir.
Jace's second prediction was Browns go to the Super Bowl. His last one is Josh Gordon gets 1,000 yards and plays in 10 games. Now I don't know what his current stats are, but the 10 games might actually happen. I think he only missed 2 with the Patriots, and he sat for 1 with the Seahawks. So I think he's going to play 10 games. It's just going to depend on if he's going to have 1,000 yards receiving. While you're looking that up, I'll keep going. Kevin. Patrick Mahomes comes down to earth, second in division to the Oakland Raiders. I predict you're right on that one, too.
This is also the guy who gave you Andrew Luck was not going to stay healthy, and the Colts are going to have to look for their quarterback of the future. They didn't have to look too far, but they did look.
They looked at They looked in the locker room. They were like, "Hey, Jacoby, you want to play quarterback?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, okay."
Sure, give me $15 million a year. I also gave you Nick Foles was going to suck, and Gardner Minshew would be starting.
Yeah, that was later in the season, though.
Nick Foles got hurt, and Gardner Minshew is starting. But now Nick Foles came back, and he put up the least amount of points the Jacksonville Jaguars have scored all year.
Sure.
So the question becomes, how long until Gardner Minshew's back in the fucking game?
You made too many because the other ones we wrote down are Oakland Steelers AFC Championship and New Orleans Pittsburgh Super Bowl with Pittsburgh winning. Neither of those are happening. But
the Steelers still have a chance.
But it does back up my star player getting injured point.
Real quick.
The Steelers do still have a chance.
Josh Gordon has played in 7 games, so hopefully, barring injury, he will get 10. However, he's going to have to get like 700 yards in what? 4
weeks.
I mean, but hey.
What's he at? Is he at like 300 yards right now?
Yeah, it's like 314 for the season.
Ooh, that's no
point. Yeah, Brady kind of sucked at the beginning of the year.
You think there's,
Brady still kind of sucks right now.
Like that 1,600-yard season you have with Cleveland, he could go off for like a couple 200-yard games.
Yeah, he was getting 200 yards a game. So, also,
oh my God, I said quick.
No. I lost my. Oh yeah, no. What I wanted was an update on you and Jace's bet. Juju versus AB.
Yeah, if I kept that bet, I'd win.
Wait, you didn't keep the bet?
No, when he got released, the bet was off at that point.
No.
Well, here's what I was gonna say. Keep going, but something that would be fun. I just told Kevin because we were talking about it. I was like, I could just trade Tyrell Williams for AB, and we could just see who has the better numbers between them. And I'm pretty sure it's Tyrell Williams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm gonna look it up.
I would have kept the bet. I would have been like, no, fuck you if you lose.
Kevin's got one. correct, but it's a very bold one that is probably going to be correct. Andy's where Miles Sanders leads Eagles to NFC Championship. Totally could. He said because of a Howard injury. Now, I'm not sure if Howard's injured, but he hasn't been playing worse shit. So
I don't think the Eagles are making the playoffs. First
I
off,
think they're making the playoffs, but it's going to be well, yeah, maybe
they'll
not.
have to
Not
win
with-
their division to make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they have to. They have to. You're right, because the wild cards are pretty much going to the Vikings and the
Seahawks or the Niners.
yeah, it's probably going to be the Seahawks and Vikings in the wild
Oh
card.
God!
His last one was Josh Allen to the Pro Bowl. I could see it as an alt. I could see it happening. But that one's probably his only one he's going to get close to. Okay.
Josh Allen's not getting into the Pro Bowl.
Probably.
He's been fucking terrible.
The NFL's second best running quarterback.
We're not going to go through and explain everything this time. I'm just gonna read down our power rankings because you gave them to me already. So my power rankings, and I'm gonna get the APP power rankings up here. AP power rankings NFL. So AP power rankings go as follows. Number 1 is La Ravens. As soon as it decides to load. It goes Ravens, Patriots, Niners, Seahawks, Packers at 5, Saints, Vikings, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills at 10, Colts, Texans, Rams, Raiders up to 14, and Eagles coming in at 15. Steelers dropped down to 17, just FYI. So, this is my power rankings. Mine go Ravens, Niners, Patriots, Seahawks, Saints, Packers. Hold on, let me do this. Group Seahawks, Saints, Packers. The Texans, Vikings, Chiefs. I have the Texans a lot higher than the power rankings have them. Vikings, Chiefs at 9, Raiders at 10, Cowboys at 11, Bills at 12, Eagles 13, Colts 14. I still have the Steelers at 15. Okay. On that note, Jace, you still have the Patriots ranked number 1. Niners at 2. Seahawks at 3. Ravens at 4. Packers at 5. Saints at 6, which you've matched. And same with the Packers. Vikings at 7. You have the Raiders there. Raiders at 7. AP's got the Vikings there. You have Cowboys at 8. Eagles at 9. Colts at 10. Vikings at 11. Chiefs at 12. Bills at 13. Texans 14. Titans 15. Titans, I'm very surprised you guys put them up there. AP has them ranked at 18 right now. Actually still below the Steelers, Panthers, and Eagles.
Well, see, the difference being, too, is they do their rankings and they do like a full fucking ranking, and the Titans were probably so far to the bottom when they started winning the last couple weeks that they're not moving them that far up. Whereas we just have been doing 15.
Them. They didn't even move them at all.
They didn't even move them, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. The week prior, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, last week, no, the Chiefs won. Sorry. And Kevin, still have the Niners at 1st, Ravens 2nd, Saints, Patriots all the way down at 4th. You have the Saints higher than anybody else. Packers 5, Seahawks 6, Colts 7, Raiders 8, Vikings 9, Cowboys 10, Chiefs 11, Texans 12, Eagles 13, Steelers 14, Titans 15. So, yeah, you guys have the Titans up there. I don't even have them on my list. I have the Bills on there, and you guys both, or Kevin doesn't. Who else did you take off, Jace? Steelers.
The Steelers and the Panthers.
Yeah. Panthers are out of that top 15 now. They're 500. They lost to the fucking Falcons, who somehow have won 2 weeks in a row. I can't put them up there anymore. I don't know how you guys are not putting the Ravens at 1. Yes, Bill. Hear that and hear that well. I have the Ravens at number 1. Niners are definitely number 2. I really feel like this is going to be a Ravens-Niners Super Bowl. So it's going to be a Harbaugh without the Harbaughs.
Well, Harbaugh, one of them.
Un Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it'll be the same outcome as that Super Bowl. Ravens over the Niners. I don't think this Patriots team's offense is good at all. Yes. Last year we said it like crazy. Oh, Tom Brady's old. He's slowing down. I saw, what was it? The cycle of a Patriots season. Somebody showed it like Patriots lose a couple close games. Tom Brady's too old. He's going to retire. Lock in a bye week. Play like crazy. Win the Super Bowl. Rinse, repeat. And that's pretty much what's going to happen.
And the reason I have the Patriots as high as I do, and I think that they might still win against the Ravens, is because in my head, I'm much like the college football playoff rankings. Until somebody beats Alabama, Alabama's number 1.
I got you.
And you know Belichick's still steaming after that loss, and he's sitting up there game planning, just waiting for a revenge game.
Oh, absolutely.
He says, "Oh, you think you're going to show me something I haven't seen on offense? Wait till you see my defense."
Yeah, that's the only thing that's keeping them
Wait until I've got
there.
Sanu, Edelman, and Brady running the 3-quarterback wishbone,
bitches. All right, guys, let's get into our picks. Obviously, we're going to add Andy's in later, and then I'll post them tomorrow when Andy can send me his picks. So we have the Thursday night game, Colts at the Texans. I think this Texans team's not doing well anymore. I'm going with the Colts on this one. What do you got for me, Jace?
One of the things I would like to admit that I was wrong, and I will admit that you were correct on, I said this Texans team was going to win the division. Jacoby Brissett, even though he's not putting up the numbers, I saw a good point the other day. He should be in the MVP discussion. With him, this is a playoff-worthy team. Without him, this team lost to the Dolphins. Colts by 1 million.
Kevin?
Colts in a very tight AFC North battle, or AFC South battle.
We have the 3-7 Bucks at the 3-7 Falcons. Somebody's got to win it. I hate to say this. I think the Falcons defense is playing a lot better than we expected them to right now. Falcons it is for me.
Well, all they have to do is just take the field and stand there, and a ball from Jameis Winston will errantly hit them in the chest. So all they got to do is catch it. Falcons win.
Kevin?
Falcons.
Broncos at the Bills. Broncos are waning pretty bad at 3-7. Bills are riding high at 7-3. Bills it is for me.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
Kevin?
Broncos.
Ooh, got to pick
I was thinking about it.
Sleeper in there. Giants at the Bears, 2 shittily teams playing a shittily game. I think the Bears are probably the worst 4-6 team out there right now. Giants it is for me.
Depends on how long Trubisky plays. They just need to let the Chase Daniel experience just ride on the rest of the year and trade Trubisky for a warm 6-pack. Oh, God, this is a fucking dumpster fire. I'll take the Giants. I'll take Danny Dimes.
Yep. Kevin?
Pat Shurmur doesn't know how to run an offense. I'm going to have to go with the Bears.
Actually,
Here-
I just lied. I just thought about Daniel Jones against that defense and Eddie Jackson, all those guys. I'm going to take the Bears.
Here's the thing I just want to bring up. Have you noticed we haven't spoke a single word about Eli Manning?
I don't think he exists anymore.
Like, he doesn't,
No.
not even a media.
Well, I don't
outlet.
know if you are aware of this, but while Peyton Manning was better at football than Eli definitely had
Eli's
better commercials.
Yeah, I think it's like the Mandela effect. It's like, did he ever exist?
Right. Steelers at
Schrodinger's cat.
Steelers at the
Different,
Bungholes. I don't know if Juju's going to be back this game. They say he also has a knee injury. Johnson's not going to be back because his brains are still leaking out of his ear. I don't want to pick the Steelers in this one, but I'm going to.
BJ Finney starting at center.
Is he? Yeah, BJ Finney's going to be starting at center, so maybe the ball will actually get snapped to him properly. I go with the Steelers because the Bengals are just that bad. If it was any other team, I'd probably pick against them. Jace?
I'm so excited for the Bengals to beat you guys this weekend. The fucking meltdown in Northwest Pennsylvania.
You're just going to
My
see
house
me
is
on
gonna
this
be
on the next episode like this.
Yeah, you're gonna look like the dude.
You're gonna be looking like
It's
Louis
Always
Black.
Sunny in Philadelphia,
Yes.
like court behind you. Yeah, Bengals are gonna win.
There's just going to be a bottle of Jack Daniel, or no, Fireball, sitting right here when we do the next episode. My glasses will be like, okay.
I promise you, if the Bengals do win, we will do an episode from my garage, and it will just be a group therapy session for you and Andy and Kevin.
Hi, my name's Jesse, and I've been victimized by Ohio football teams.
By Ryan Finley.
And then you can console us with stories about Jamarcus Russell.
It's true. It's funny because Mason Rudolph also wears the number 2.
You'll be like the Captain
And they
America.
both
in
played
Endgame,
like number
where,
2.
like, we all have to move past our feelings.
We're gonna move on together.
Kevin, who do you got in that one?
I'm hoping we get a good call this week, and by call I mean I'm hoping Ducky Hodges is in the fucking game, baby. Steelers
go
over the
quack.
Bengals.
Quack, quack. All right, Dolphins at the Brownies. I think this is going to be Myles Garrettless, their OG Gobu, whatever the hell his name is.
Ogunjobi.
Ogunjobi. Olivia Vernon hasn't played. I think this defense is going to look bad. I think Fitzmagic is going to take it to him. I'm going Dolphins. It's also
too far up north for all them. They don't want to play for the Dolphins. It's too fucking cold. They're going to roll over and die in this game. Browns will win another one.
Kevin?
Brownies.
All right. Panthers at the Saints. Panthers do not look good. Saints are still the Saints. I got to go with the Saints. That's just stupid not to. Jace?
Hail breezy.
Kevin?
Saints, Michael Thomas is leading the league in receptions and yards right now. He is on pace to break the fucking reception record.
That's Titties McGee.
These are all facts.
Raiders at the Jets. I even have a comment. Raiders. Jace.
Like I said, trap game scares me a little bit. We did only just beat the Bengals by a touchdown, but I'll take the Raiders.
Kevin?
Raiders.
Lions at the Redskins. I'm going with this is tough. Holy shit. I didn't even look at this game. This is a fucking dumpster.
Does Stafford
fire
have a
of
new
game.
back yet?
Driscoll hasn't played horrible, but he also hasn't played well. And I watched the video of Haskins pleading with his O-line.
That was the
Begging
saddest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like, pleading with him, he needs help, and they're sitting there laughing at him.
Yeah, the one dude in the background is just like smirking, wouldn't even make eye contact with him. Just
He like
around.
looked at his buddy and was like,
Yeah.
What? You expect
What?
us to play football?
Yeah.
So just because of that, I got to go to the Lions. Jace?
And it was funny, that exact same dude that was being a dick, they circled him on the next series. They on a play, and he absolutely whiffed on his fucking assignment and left him wide open. I feel bad for Haskins, but he's going to get hung out to dry again. Jeff Driscoll rolls.
Kevin?
I don't know if he's going to roll, but they're definitely going to win the game.
Lions it is. Jags at Titans. Foles is still starting. Titans defense is tough. I got to go with the Titans on this one. I think that I hate to say it. I think Kevin's right. I think they're going to have a few games under Foles because the season's already kind of lost for them. They're going to realize, oh shit, Minshew's the future. Chase?
Minshew is not the future. He is literally, he's a mustache and a mullet. He's a gimmick. He's a career backup.
Just listen to the guy in the room that knows what he's talking about. Crab cakes and football. That's what Kevin does.
No.
Minshew will be back in starting for these Jaguars soon because Nick Foles is going to be a dumpster fire in this game, and he's a stooge and a sellout.
Shut the fuck up. What do you got, Jace?
I said Titans.
Okay. Kevin, I assume you are going with the Titans as
Titans,
well?
Yeah.
I can't make out whatever the fuck you guys are saying. Cowboys at Patriots. Once again, I don't even know if I have to ask. Patriots it is. Kevin?
Yeah.
Chase?
Patriots.
Was it Patriots and who?
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Ooh. Dangerous.
Dak Prescott is slowly creeping into the MVP conversation.
Yeah, he is
He's leading
slinging
the
the
league
ball.
in passing yards, and he has a 68% completion percentage right now. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yeah, he's slinging the ball pretty
proving
crazy.
Jerry and Stephen Jones don't know where to put their fucking money because Zeke has looked like dog shit.
Zeke who? Packers at the Niners. Jimmy G against A-Rod. I actually feel like the Niners defense is better than the Packers defense, so I'm going to give Niners the edge and say Niners win it. Kevin or Jace?
I think the Niners drop 2 straight. I think the Packers sneak up and take one from them here.
That wouldn't be 2 straight because he beat
That
the
wouldn't be
Cardinals
2
last
straight.
weekend, Chief.
Well, not 2 straight, but 2 losses.
2 in the last 3.
There you go.
Kevin?
I'm going to go with the Niners because I think the Jimmy G is starting to really come into his own here. And hopefully they have Kittle back.
Yep. Seahawks at Eagles. I got to go to Seahawks in this. Russell Wilson is still playing at MVP form. And the Eagles secondary is still a little subject. Jace.
This is a really, really tough one.
Just FYI, Russell Wilson's 5-0 with 116.2 passer rating on the road this season.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Russell Wilson just to spite Kevin.
He sucks, though, right?
I'm going to take a couple seconds here just to clarify things. My whole Seahawks rant to begin with was because of their defense and how their defense is letting other teams into the game.
You've ranted about
I
this.
got mad because everybody kept telling me how bad I was picking, so I said, fuck Russell Wilson. If Jesse can collaborate that I was the first one on the fucking Russell Wilson train when it first left the goddamn station his rookie year. I said he would be starting before he was starting.
Russell Wilson was
I
going to be the
had
best
him on
quarterback
my
out of that
fantasy.
draft.
I had him on my fantasy team before he was even named the starter for Seattle. I have been on a Russell Wilson train from the fucking get-go. So,
Congratulations.
being
Getco
said,
or Getco?
I said get-go.
Pet go.
Okay.
Russell
Getco?
Wilson
Where the pets
and the
go?
Seahawks will win against the Eagles this week because Carson Wentz, to steal again from Ty Schmidt, is a stooge and a sellout.
Stop it.
I hate you.
For
Car
the brand.
fire. Ravens at Rams. Rams are
Kelly Stafford's tits.
garbage. Goff is garbage. Ravens win. Jason,
Another Ravens win.
Kevin,
I think Mr. Jackson's going to be remarkable in this game.
I fucking want to kill you.
The Ravens will win. Quit being a fag.
All right, buddy. We got everything there. Like I said, I'll get Andy's picks. Just to let you know, we all like I said, mentioned early, we all went 11-3. So the standings really didn't change any. I still have 5 games on Kevin, 6 games on Andy, 7 games on Jace.
Half the season on Jace.
Hey, Jace gained a little bit on us the other week when he wasn't here, and I let him do his FanDuel picks. But he gained a few games. But yeah, everybody went 11-3. Let's see if we can do a repeat. We do have a few different, and mainly it's you two against me on them. So we'll see what happens. As always, signing off. Please go to our Facebook page. Please visit our webpage. Donate to our PayPal. I haven't looked at it in a few days. There might still be that 68 cents or whatever the hell it is. Reach out. We love to hear from you. Send us comments on Facebook. Lonnie's actually been the one that posts to our page the most now, and it's usually on Brown's meme.
Or Mr. Burke, Uncle Bill.
Or Mr. Uncle Bill. So reach out. Let us know what's going down. You have questions for us. You have topics you want us to talk about. Let us know. We want to hear from you. You can email us from the webpage. You can comment on our webpage. You can comment on our Facebook. You can touch butts. I don't care. Just let us know. We also have our YouTube page. You can visit us there. So please reach out. We want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on in your lives, and we want to know what you want to hear us talk about. Other than that, stay tuned next week. We'll have more coming at you. And as always, rage on, everybody.